I don't know how you guys feel about this, man, but I mean, this manager, man, I don't know why he kept playing Sabos like as a right back. He's like a death wish or something, right? He wants to get sacked. He just kept doing the same thing. He do, what's going on, man? You cannot take your legs. He's got legs. You take the man with
Well,
legs.
he switched him back to the midfield in the first half. That was against Nottingham Forest, yeah.
He likes to play him in midfield because he's similar to where we used to have Trent in midfield. He likes to have a right back that can control the tempo of a game, that can pass the ball. And Szoboszlai has had some really good matches at right back. He played well against Arsenal at right back. He played well against Newcastle at right back, and he's had one or two other matches. So it really depends on how. So if you come out of the midfield and then you put other players in the midfield and they function, it's not a problem. Obviously, he had to change over the weekend because they didn't. But we've had other times where the people in midfield, they've done their job, so he didn't have to put him back in midfield. I think our struggle, McAllister is a big problem for us. I know he scored a goal, but sometimes he's just off the pace. I don't even know what it is. I mean, I thought recently he's actually done all right, but the last game, it just goes back to how he's really played for most of the season. It's that physicality. He just can't handle it. Sam, you and I have been at Arsenal. I don't know if it was last season or season before, where they had to take him off. He took him off and put Curtis Jones on because physically they overran him in midfield at the Emirates.
Right. He hasn't covered himself in glory. I get that. But there's another player that's actually off the radar right now, which is Gravenberch. That guy is absolute rubbish. But nobody's talking about him. We kept picking on
Salah. People have mentioned.
You pick on what's his name, McAllister.
Gakpo
is another guy, man, that is always, oh my God. But the problem I've got with this manager, I'm still telling you now, right? I've got a big problem with him. The problem I've got with him, you think he's a very smart man, but he ain't. Now, you've got a specialist right back. You now you started the game wrongly. You must have been training for about 3 or 4 days, having a drill, who's going to be your right back. After 20 minutes, you know you got it wrong. And this is not the first time he's done it. And we were overrun. He had to swap it around, put Jones in the right back and bring, what's his name, back in the middle. The first thing, right, you spend 3 days training, going through that. Come on, man. This is just not, it's uncalled for. Now, you've got a specialist, which is Ramsey. You know, he can actually, I don't care what anyone says, he will do better than McAllister, he will do better than Szoboszlai and Jones on that right back. Don't care what anyone says. Sorry, not for me.
Well, obviously, you don't care what anyone says. These are people that see me in training every day. This guy he can't get a game at Wigan. Wigan in League 2. He can't get a game there in League 1. He can't get a game there.
Yeah, I thought it was impressed him before he got injured.
Do you think these players, right? All the coaches that we have, they see this guy play every day in training, and they will cut off their nose to spite their face and think, "Oh, it's good enough to play, but we're not going to play because we want to get sacked." I mean, it's like when a player gets injured, right? He's not playing for a while. All of a sudden, he becomes the best player because everybody says, "Oh, we miss him." He can't play. They're not playing him because he's not capable of playing. That's why they're not playing.
Come on. This is the same player we saw playing the Carabao Cup.
He can't get a game at League 1.
Did he play a Carabao Cup, yes or no?
Well, in fairness, I think Ramsey's problem has been his lack of fitness. He's been quite injury prone. So and that's been his problem. But when he did play against Palace in the Carabao Cup, he was actually one of the better players on the night. He was actually one of the. So I am with Sam on this, that he can do a job for us. So because rather than take out someone who is undoubtedly the player of the season for Liverpool out of his best position, which is the midfield. Szoboszlai, he can do a job in at right back, no doubt. But I want to see him in midfield. Because as well, you've all pointed out earlier, for too often this season, we've been overrun in the midfield. And at times it's as if we didn't even have a midfield. And the defense was just constantly under pressure. So you need your best player in his best position. That's Szoboszlai in midfield.
Yes.
And I still find it hard to believe that there isn't someone in the academy ranks capable of playing at right back. I struggle to accept that.
Right.
And that's a problem with Slot. He doesn't trust his squad.
Yeah, well, do you know why? Because he wants to play all the dot players. That's what he wants to do. I tell you what he's doing. In order for Gakpo to play, he had to create a space for him. That means Szoboszlai goes a right back and Jones in the middle. Because if you put a proper right back there like Ramsey, that means the only option, because Jones is not that bad in the middle, right? But that means there's a position, Gakpo will be on the bench. And it's not going to happen. He needs to play Gakpo. By playing Gakpo, you have to put square peg in a round hole. That's what he needs to do. And that's why we're struggling. We are, I'm sure you all watched the game against Forest.
We're not playing because, look, Gakpo hasn't had a good season. To be honest, Gakpo is doing exactly the same thing he did last season, but things aren't coming up for it. But that's by the by. For me, what the noise about, do you think the manager will just think, I want to get sacked, so I'm just going to do things so that the team doesn't win? The logic with that, it beats me. You think, the manager sit down and you think, okay, how can I set the same team up today so that we'll look bad and then we'll lose? The thing is, I want to see Szoboszlai play in the middle, but I understand the logic of trying to play him there because he gets more of the ball and he can dictate the play from that side too. But the thing is, we've had games this season where Szoboszlai has played in the middle and we were still overrun by a physical team.
Yeah, that is true.
The structural issue we have in that team needs to be resolved. We need to get a proper number 6 because Gravenberch is not a number 6. We have seen him to play as a number 6. He doesn't play well. And certain games like the Forest game, the Forest they just overrun him and there's nothing you could do because we need to get a number 6. That will solve that problem out, and then we can play everybody else around it, and we can play people in the right positions and stuff like that. Obviously, with the injuries, also, it doesn't fully trust Gomez to come in as right back all the time. Not only is he covering as a one of the centre halves, also if you play him at right back and he breaks down, then you have another problem. So it's just, to me, it's a multitude of issues that the squad is not balanced. The issue with the squad needs to be resolved during the off season. And to be, as far as I'm concerned, in the next few weeks, I can see us struggling again because with the number of games we have to play, and we just don't have the players. Well, and this thing, Sam, you mentioned this, and I have to agree with this now. And Klopp used to do as well. When you give the players, our players, these Liverpool players, when you give them a couple of days off during the week,
they struggle.
They come out and they can't. They just don't have any rhythm. They seem to forget how to play football. I don't get it. They have a couple of days off. They come back and they're worse. Nottingham Forest played on Thursday.
1 week. Oh, okay.
And it was Sunday. They played. We didn't play. We had a whole week to train. Well, whole week not playing. We had a couple of days off. They come back and we were terrible.
Yeah.
Well,
for me,
this is not the first time this is happening. This has been happening, right? For the last, every time we started this stupidness about they all going to like Dubai and things, to go and take about a week off, right? We come back, look at those statistics. We don't win the next game. It's either a draw or we lost, and we lose the game. And it's always been like that. This guy, forget this rest, you need to rest them. Don't rest them, just get them playing. That is what it's about, right? Because they somehow lose rhythms. I just don't know why. You've given a week off, and they come back and they're playing like strangers that they've never played with that guy before. It's just frustrating. Everybody's frustrated right now. I don't care if we lose a game, but the brand of football is the one that's frustrating me. This is not the brand of football I want to watch. We are terrible, and this is on the manager. I don't care whether you want to support the manager or not. This guy is out of his depth. I'm telling you right now, he's out of his depth. He needs to go. He needs to go, and he needs to go now.
Well, for me, come on, Sam. It needs to go now. You know that's not going to happen. Why are you just saying something? I guess you're getting out of your system, so it makes you feel better when you say that, because it's not going to happen. Look, even to the end of the season, the man is going to be there to the end of the season. Whether you support him or not, at the end of the season, they will assess it, and then if they decide that, well, he hasn't done a good job because we didn't do X, Y, and Z, they'll get rid of him. Well, you keep banging on about doing this, it's going to go now, it's this and that. Whatever. It doesn't make any sense because it doesn't matter. Well, I guess if you feel good by saying it, then it solves your problem, then it's fine.
And this is gospel. Reason why he's still at his job, the owners still believe we can finish in the top 5. Let us get to the around 10th or the 8th. He will be gone before the end of the season. I'm telling you now. This is that's the owner for you.
So are you saying he takes all the blame? Some of the players have not been doing well. Are you saying he takes all the blame? Some of the players have not been doing well.
He picks a team. He picks a team. He's the problem, and the buck stopped with him. I mean,
the buck does stop with him. Having said that, the players too need to take some responsibility.
Yeah.
So the players, because I'll give you an example. Remember the game against PSV at Anfield.
That's when it should be gone.
PSV's first goal, when Van Dijk put his hand up in the box when a corner kick was played.
Yeah, I saw that.
You remember that?
Oh God.
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah. So
now,
not only that. Was it Was it PSV or didn't he do it at Frankfurt as well?
Someone else. I know the one you're talking about. When he's trying to ref, Van Dijk was trying to ref the game. He put his hands up. That's somebody's fouling. The referee, you need to blow. Which one was it?
Not only that, against Leeds, we were 2-0 up, cruising. If Konate didn't do what Konate did,
that was Konate.
2-0, 3-0. Simple. And then he had a heads gone moment, gave it with it, and then we all knew what was going to happen after that. You say like, these are professional players. We're paying them so much. They get paid so much money, but they don't have no responsibility, because when they're out there and they do stupid things, it's got to be the manager's fault. They got to take responsibility.
They have to.
International players.
No, I tell you what.
I mean, against Nottingham Forest, I look at players can't track the ball. I mean, we can't say it's a manager because of the manager can't track the ball. I mean, it's like we started the move, pass it to Ekatike. There was nobody around him, and he just passed it back to them. And then straight away we're under pressure. Yeah. Every single one of the players, they were rubbish. Every single one of them were rubbish.
Agreed.
And then we turn around and say, it's a manager.
But my take on this manager,
be constructive when we're having criticism. I'm not saying the manager is perfect. I think he's made mistakes.
Yes, I get what you're saying. The manager has not created a culture. He's rewarding failures. That's what the manager is doing. Remember, Salah was thinking of the pitch, right? For nearly 11 games, he kept picking him until it just become untenable no more. Chiesa comes on, he scored a goal, he helps, he can't even give the guy, Chiesa, you know what, the next 3 games you are playing. Because the man played 10, 15 minutes, he knows he's not playing next week. Even he actually helped us to win the game, he's not going to play next week. He's going to reward the guy that was actually failing. And that is the culture the manager has created. So it is on that manager. It is, it's on the manager. It's on the manager.
So the way Gakpo has been playing this season, if we had the same squad we had last season, would Gakpo have got as many games as he's got this season? No, because we had a replacement, we had alternatives. He said take Salah off. I've been a big critic of Salah because I think since not just this season, from after maybe February last year, he showed the signs of what's going on right now. So there's been a problem with him. He's just falling off the cliff. It's one of those things. You can't be, he's still got it in him. He can still do the odd things, but it's just not the same player. He is what it is. But for his status at Liverpool, you can't just take him off. You can't bench him for Chiesa because Chiesa hasn't proven at Liverpool that he can do it. and he's proving that now. Yeah, he might show a bit of decent form or whatever. They see him in training every day, and he can't do what Salah, whatever his faults are, is still better than Chiesa right now. Because it will still take attention away. It will still, so that other players will get space and stuff like that. Chiesa is not a player. I love Chiesa the way he used to be, but he's not a player. He's just injury caught up with him. He's not the same player. I mean, look, he came on over the weekend. I mean, until we had to switch up the young lad from the left-hand side to the right-hand side to come and take on the left back, and then he was starting to get the job done over there. Chiesa couldn't do it. A couple of times he got the ball. They just took the ball off him like a little kid.
Right.
He just doesn't have it.
What's happened to Chiesa is exactly what's happened to Chiesa. The man's been benched for too long. You just bench him, and you actually bench him out of form. That's what they've done to this guy, Chiesa. When the season started, the first 5 games, he's got some energy, got some bite about him. You can see that energy, that fire is gone. He comes on, he runs, he can't even tackle no more, but he doesn't even know how to tackle anyway. He just runs around and runs around.
Exactly.
I can see that.
He gets in everybody's way. He gets in everybody's way. That's what he does right now.
Yes. Because
everybody wants him to do well because he tries. He gives it, but he just doesn't have it. It's obvious to everybody to see. Yeah, okay, maybe. Yeah, you have a good case to say maybe the manager played them out of form because it was a period where he was coming on do well. Yeah, I'll argue that he could have played. He could have got more games. But then when I look at how he's playing now, I mean, recently he started in the FA Cup. He started another game. He's had enough game time now that even when he now goes to the bench and it comes off for 15 minutes
and 5 minutes,
just so rusty. He doesn't have a clue of what's going on. Like tactically, he's hopeless. Really, he was getting in everybody's way before they switched him. On Sunday.
No, I think what I actually found hard to understand was why he wasn't moved on in January when the opportunity came along. Because I think it's clear to anyone who's ever watched Liverpool now that Slot simply doesn't rate the guy.
Yeah, and he kept him there.
So, and this is what I'm struggling to understand. You don't rate the guy, which is fine, because at the end of the day, as a manager, it's your job to pick the players who you feel would play the game the way you want it played. So if someone doesn't fit the bill, then when you have a chance to move him on, why not move him on? Why keep him? No. When you know, because Chiesa is not in the Champions League squad.
At the beginning of the season, yeah, but
so
I think sorry. Oh, okay. I think they see him as just a body.
Go on, Boris.
The issue we have is it goes back to what we talk about the squad. Biggest issue we have is we have a youngster, but you have to look after him. You can't play him in certain matches. You just have to watch. You have to be careful how you play the youngster. But we've gone into the season with that youngster as one of the players in the first team that we should be able to count on, but we can't count on him because he's still young. The issue is we got rid of Diaz, we took the pace out of the team, and we never replaced him. Chiesa is not a replacement for Diaz. He can't do what Diaz does. He doesn't have the pace, he doesn't have the strength. He doesn't.
Now,
he just can't do it.
I seem to recall earlier in the season when Slot was asked if a replacement will be brought in for Diaz, and he said that that the plan was to create a path for Rio to move into the first team. I mean, to become a regular in the first team. Now, the problem with which was fine. In fact, when I heard that, I said, "Oh, okay, yep, I can sign up to that." Now, that did not mean that I expected Rio to start every game. He can't, because you need to protect him. But I expected him to have been given far more game time than he's received. So, and that's so if you're trying to create a path for someone, and then you see the person in his way, Gakpo, who's not doing much, at the very least, give the young man 15 minutes.
It should be more.
At least if you give him 15 minutes every now and then, he's able to raise his levels and his intensity, you know, through that experience. But time and again, he's thrown in when we're struggling with 6 minutes to go, and he's expected to pull a rabbit out of his hat. Well, he nearly did last over the weekend, except that Ekitike couldn't finish the chance. So, and if Ekitike had buried that cross, there wouldn't have been any discussion about handball by McAllister.
True.
So, so I don't really think that Slot trusts the youngsters in the squad, and that for me is a serious problem.
Yeah, but it's how you develop youngsters, though. So I think the plan, how I see is that we wanted to be in a position where in game set we say we're 3-0 up, 15 minutes to go, 20 minutes to go, we put him on. We haven't had that because we've had such a bad season. We've been struggling, so we haven't had that situation. Now, if you notice that it's not all the time that when we're struggling that he puts him on. There have been games where we've been losing and he doesn't put him on, because you also have to be careful. You can't look. It's like Samus as an example. The way fans react these days, right? You put that youngster on like for a couple of matches and he doesn't do it, even when he starts matches. Before you know it, people will be flaming out, cussing out, he's not good enough, it's this and that, he's lost it and all that. You have to protect the youngster. You know, you go on social media, they will be like cussing his family and everything else because he's had a couple of bad matches. Look, he just turned 17. You know how many games Messi played when he was 17? Let's go and look how many games Messi played when he was 17-year-old. It's actually Messi, looking at the minutes that Messi had. This lad in Gomorrah has had more minutes than Messi had at the same age. You're going to protect these players.
How about Yamal?
Yamal, I'm not sure about Yamal. But so go back to the terms of, you look at Liverpool youngsters. We've had Dans, we've had Bajcetic, we've had all these youngsters, right? That because we haven't looked after them properly, poor Bajcetic is not going to have the career that he should have had at Liverpool. We're going to end up letting him go because they're still growing. You play them too much, you train them too much, they break down. You know, Rio doesn't train all the time with the first team because they have to look after him. So if the first team trains 5 times a week, he'll only do 2 days a week because you have to look after him.
Yeah, agreed. The only thing, every time he plays his 10 minutes, the next day he's going to play for under 21, and it's like a boys against men because he's so head and shoulder around his other kids, right? And he's only 17. Yeah. He's playing under 21, and he's still much better. What Boris is saying, that 10 minutes, 5 minutes, he ain't good enough. Give him 20 minutes, regardless, because Gakpo is not doing it. He's not doing it. If Gakpo is actually giving us something, I say, all right, keep the key, let him sit there and just watch. Yeah. But Gakpo is thinking up the pitch. So because he's doing that, the boy must play. And that is, how about Naomi? Naomi now is being with the first team for the last 3 years. What are you still rapping when you got someone like McAllister actually playing, having a stinker, and the boy's been there in the first team for 3 years? You still rapping him? How long are you going to wrap him up for?
Because no, I've criticized McAllister, but it's an experience. I mean, I'll tell you, you guys have to go and run a team. There's certain way that you have to do things. They will get their chance. It's just right. It's like when a team is struggling, that's the worst time to actually put certain youngsters, especially when they're that young, to put them in a the team that's struggling. Because do we think that you put in Nyonya in the team right now that is going to improve the team so much that it will change how we're playing? No, he won't.
But the kid's got legs. He's got legs. Dan McAllister.
The way to develop them, is when the team is doing well, you start to introduce them to the game.
But
they start to get touches. They build up their
you
confidence.
Ferguson didn't do that when he actually introduced his kid. Ferguson did not do that. They were talking about, you got Ryan Giggsy, the Scully. They were so young when they came on and they performed. Put them in a
really good,
they can swing.
Yeah, well, they had really good players around them. They had good experienced players around them. They were playing well. They were playing well.
About 4 or 5 youngsters in a team. That's a lot. We are only asking for one.
Remember, Alan Hansen said you don't win things with kids.
Yeah, exactly. But he said that. But you go and look at that squad. I know he did introduce them, but they've been playing for a bit. They just didn't put them in. Some of these players have been in. They've been playing for a little bit before they not put them all in. But I want to go back to what I was saying about developing players and. When you introduce players, you have to be careful. Going back to Gakpo, because as fans, we kind of just see that, put this player in, put that player in, the youngster in. You have to look at the balance of the team. The Premier League now is a physical league. With Liverpool, we did not anticipate that. We have a lot of pretty players. The issue we have is we don't have combative, robust players, and that's why we struggle with certain teams. So now putting that youngster in, that's even weaker than the people like Gakpo. You have Gakpo in the team. When you have set piece, it will help you out.
I don't agree.
You have other things, it will help you. There are certain things that, it might not be having a great game attacking, but it will do other things to help out the team because the team is lacking certain profile of players. Now you put a youngster on, probably end up losing the ball in the wrong area because it's in Gamora. You put in Gamora on when we're winning. Yeah, you do his tricks or whatever. It might not come off, but it's fine. It doesn't matter anyway. But when you're struggling and you put him on and he does those things and then he loses the ball, the crowd will go off and everybody. It's not. Anyway, that's the way I see football. Anyway, I think youngsters have
some fans
you can't
are
put a
saying
youngster in a team that is struggling and expect them to like be the messiah that's going to change the fortune of a team. No,
we want to change.
People that compared Rio to Yamal, they said Yamal started getting more game time and sustained. So why can't Slot do the same with Rio? He's talented.
But I think so. If you're playing in the Spanish league, it's not physical. It's not a physical league, so you can get away with a lot. Whereas we play in the Premiership, I mean, look at long throw-ins. You got long throw-ins coming. You got set piece. I mean, look at what happens with the Everton game. I don't know if anybody saw the Everton game yesterday with Man United. I mean, God, it's like we're playing rugby. Who's holding physical? I mean, something has to. This league this year is a totally different ball game. The world it's very physical. So yeah, especially with a player like Rio. If Rio is playing for a Spanish team, then you might get more games because the games are less physical. So you get more touches and it's more about skill over there. Whereas here in the Premiership, you need to have skillful players, but you need to win your physical battle, your physical challenges first before you then earn the right to play. So it's a different environment.
Question for you.
But we're going back to saying that Messi. I'd like to kind of Yamal, Messi. I guess when Messi was coming through, you still have Ronaldinho and people like that around, so it wasn't easy.
What year did Sterling start playing for Liverpool? Sterling. Huh? When did he start playing? Sterling. What year did he start playing? How old was he?
Probably 18, 19, but it's not. Sterling is not a good example. Sterling is not a good example. Look at Sterling now. Sterling, a 27-year-old. Sterling, a 27-year-old, is playing like an old man. He's finished.
No. He has won trophies, so you have to give him credit when it's due.
Sterling is 31 now, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, but but what has Sterling done in the last 3-4 years?
The man has won trophies, my brother. He has won trophies. Yes or no?
What they're doing is they want these people to have a longer career. We've had at Liverpool, we've had Michael Owen. Michael Owen stopped. He couldn't, after about 22, 23, because of injuries, he was more or less finished. Same as Fowler. This player, Fowler Owen, they did not play longer than, after about 26, Fowler was done, maybe even 25. So it's learning from experience.
It happens.
They overplayed. In this league, they overplayed.
Apart from Gerrard, who from a youngster that's had a very long career. Apart from Gerrard for Liverpool. They actually start from the youth and actually have a very long career.
Carragher, yeah.
No, I'm talking about playing a Premiership that actually played for that long. Mark actually had one. They're not that many. So just because of that,
Jamie Carragher.
Jamie Carragher.
He came through the youth team at Liverpool.
Yeah.
Football or something. All right, never mind.
No, but you just asked me, and I told you.
Well, he did come through the youth ranks.
Yeah, but what I'm getting at is, if you keep saying we're going to keep protecting them, we were playing so badly. That's why Klopp introduced Besecha, and guess what? He actually improved our middle. He was a youngster. He improved that. Everybody started looking up to him, including Salah, because we were so poor that season until that boy came. So what is the difference with this boy?
Yeah, they did well. Now, it's a good point you made. And what's happened to Bicetic now? Because we overplayed him at that time, and his career is almost over.
No, we didn't overplay him.
No, I don't think we overplayed him. I don't think we overplayed him.
Wait. It wasn't just overplaying him, it's training as well. You look at training. As I said to you, Rio doesn't train. If they train 5 days, he's training 2 days. He doesn't train. So there's a lot of changes that they're making to how the reason why we have all these youngsters that keep breaking down. Jaden Dance, if he was fit now, he'll be playing. He's not, because he's suffering from injury because of the same problem. We have too many youngsters, these promising youngsters that we have, that are breaking down too much because the method that has been raised, the way they've been brought up playing football.
Yeah, be that as it may. Now, whilst yes, there's no doubt it is important to protect the youngsters, but there will come a time when you just have to let them into the big wild world. Because at the end of the day, now I'm not saying that Rio should be playing week in, week out, 2 games a week, or as the case may be, depending on the schedule. No, that's not what I'm suggesting. But at the very least, now, when you see certain players not performing to expectations, and you can see that changes need to be made, we can no longer call on Darwin Núñez or Luis Diaz. So who else is there? So surely we cannot be suggesting that you just leave the poor players on the pitch. Because look at the bench now. Look at the bench. Now, if we have to change the game, who can we call on to do that?
No.
And that now, of course, this problem is not cannot be attributed solely to Slot, because I think this even goes above him, because we need to look at FSG, Richard Hughes, the director of football, and the recruitment as a whole.
Yeah.
So because when you let battle-hardened players go and you don't replace them, then there will be a problem, and that's why we've certainly struggled. Yeah. And we still have the FA Cup and the Champions League to play for. We still have a very good chance of finishing in the top 5. But if Gakpo and Salah, who anybody else for that matter, don't play well, surely we cannot be arguing that they should remain on the pitch simply because we want to protect the youngsters.
No, I'm not arguing that. I'm not arguing that in all situations that, okay, against Nottingham Forest, he got brought on. And I think the coach even made the point that they can see certain things in his game now maybe game intelligence, all that sort of stuff. It's improving to the point now where they're having more confidence to put him on in that situation. But I'm not arguing that. I think FSG, so going back to the point I was going to make, so FSG and all the people that are making decisions, they took certain risks that's backfired. The Isak getting injured, obviously, they didn't account for that. What's the name of the centre back that we bought, the youngster?
Leone.
Sorry. Yeah, Leone, isn't it? Yes, got injured. That's unlucky. So there are certain things that went against them with the way they kind of tried to plan. They're still rebuilding that squad, and those key players getting injured set them back. Because if Leone didn't get injured, if Isak didn't get injured, I'm sure Isak would have scored. It was showing signs that it was actually settled in and he was going to kind of move on from his Liverpool career. He got injured. Leone came on, we could see what he did. He got injured. So when Konate was struggling, maybe he was having family issues that we weren't aware of, you couldn't take him out of the team because Gomez was injured. Those are things that they didn't account for. Yeah, you still have to blame them that they left the squad.
That's part of football. You know that. You've played the game at a very good level yourself. That is part of football. Yeah. But what we're saying is, if somebody has said to you beginning of the season, Liverpool is going to go for Viet, they are going to go for Kirkers, we're going to go for Isak, and we're going to go for our friend Ekitike, you will bite their hands off and take them. Yes or no?
Yeah, I'm not the signings we made. I'm not arguing with the signings we made. I just think that
these are quality players. We know that. Yes. So in that respect, we're going to give credit when it's due with FFG. But what we are saying here is they've bought some crown jewels for this team, but they need to supplement them with some youngster, which the manager is not doing. He's not doing it. He refused to do it. So that's one of my biggest problems with the manager. And secondly, the fact that you have got you've got Salah not performing, and because he's a legend, that gave them the divine right to start the next game. That's wrong. What are you creating in that team? If somebody works hard, you reward them. He is rewarding failures. Salah and Gakpo is reward. I guarantee you now they're starting a game against West Ham, 100%. My beef with my reason with Boris' work, right, is what he said. He said it absolutely amazing. Is every home game, I'll be giving that boy at least 30 minutes. I'll be giving him. We're playing at home. There's no team that come to Liverpool, as much as we've been playing badly, and come and outplay us and dominate us. Very, very even this season, they haven't done so. Although we make one or two bad mistakes and concede, but no team has come in and actually outmuscles us and outplayed us at Anfield. Away, you get him to sit down and watch the game because they're different kettle of fish. But when we play at home, we are always on team's neck, and you need an X factor with this boy. Put him there. Home game. Why is he not doing it? Because you know why? He just like to chicken out, right? He just said, you know what? I just play this lot, and because they are just the one I've got to play, and the rest of them just sit there. I just don't know why he's actually naming any substitutions. Anyway, you must well just put your first 11 there. I can tell you what his first 11 is going to be between now until the end of the season, and that's how bad we are. That's terrible, and we're playing badly. You can't do that. There's no competition in our team anymore. Reason why Gakpo excelled last season is because if he messes up, Diaz is playing. In fact, Diaz was his first choice. And Gakpo just have to he has to put in a shift. I saw Gakpo today. For the last few games, he gets the ball. What do you think he's going to do? He's going to go in the middle. He's going to keep going in, and they are waiting for him. Even the defender don't even have to do anything now. Just go and wait in that little square that is coming to you. Don't go and chase him to the ball line. He's not going there. He's coming to you, and they win the ball off him. The same thing, Salah. He gets the ball, he's coming in. The same thing over and over. You think the people don't study us before they come and play us? Of course, they've done their homework. But the manager is supposed to be cuter than that. That's why you're getting paid the big bucks. and he's still telling them to do the same thing. No. Sorry, it's got.
Yeah, I think I do agree, and I think okay, granted that we're certainly not in a position to bring in new players between now and the end of the season. And this is where he could be a little bit more creative as well. Because for the life of me, I don't see why Salah should be playing on the flanks. He shouldn't be playing on the flanks. Now, he could be pushed infield to play more as a second striker or a number 10.
Yep.
Because if you're watching for Egypt, he doesn't play on the flanks for Egypt.
No.
He doesn't play on the flanks because and in any case, he doesn't have the pace anymore to get past fullbacks. And that was why usually he benefited from having runners like Bradley and Soboslai.
Yeah.
So, but expecting him to take on the fullback, he might as well just present the ball to the opponent, which in many cases was what happened anyway. So, but again, Slot continues to do the same thing. Classic definition of madness. Do the same things, but expect a different result.
It ain't gonna happen. That, in fact, that is Nayo's favorite words anyway. I just don't know why he can't see it. This is what he says all the time. You cannot be doing the same thing and expect different results. It's impossible. This man is so predictable.
But then you have to be consistent. You say they do the same thing, expect a different result. Salah we played the same formation against Newcastle. We battered them. Am I right or wrong?
What? Battered them?
Yeah, right.
So we've had games this season where, and I'm actually speaking as a person that I think we should be playing a diamond in midfield. I think we should play Viets, play three behind Viets in the midfield, play Salah off Ekitike. That's how we should be playing. But and also because Salah can then go to the right hand side, because Salah favors going to that side anyway. Even when he plays for Egypt, that isn't playing there. If you look a lot of his actions, they're on that right hand side though. He might not be playing there, but a lot of his actions still goes there. It will go there. So he naturally likes to go to that side. But for me, I think we should be playing as a 2, so it doesn't have the responsibility of chasing the fullback. But that's a different story. But just going back to the system he's playing, where we say, doing the same thing and expecting a different result. Yeah, because sometimes you do get a different result. Against Sunderland, when we play Sunderland away, we play the same way. We got a result. So it's when players don't play well sometimes, we can't just it's easy to kind of blame you on the system. That's a system. Against Newcastle, I saw Salah. Lewis Hall, he was having a battle with Lewis Hall, the fullback, and the fullback was getting the better of him. But the last 15 minutes of that game, he was getting the better of the fullback, a younger fullback. He was actually outrunning. At one time, they had a one-on-one to chase the ball, and Salah got there before him. He was stronger. So sometimes what they look at, because Salah might try this, he may try that, but he keep on trying because at some point, when the game gets to later on in the game, when people start to get tired, then he'll get more joy.